Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, actually, it's the morning. I'm ahead of schedule. Look at that. I hope that you're all doing very well. It's been about 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks since I actually put the camera on the tripod. As you've seen maybe on the channel and you're new, so welcome for all the new subscribers. We've come through the live streams and been live streaming, you know, on the raid hours, which has been very, very good fun. I very much enjoyed raiding with a lot of you. But we've had to pick the camera up again, and hopefully I'll be picking up the camera again because obviously this weekend is going to be Porygon Community Day. I hope you're all ready for that. The Tri-Attack stats came out. It's not fantastic. It's basically going to be a shiny hunt and a Stardust grind, but I'm looking forward to that, so that will be on Sunday. Articuno is coming into raids tonight, in about an hour's time since when you watch this video, so that will be good fun. I'll be doing a duo of that. I'm going hardcore for it because it's the first time Articuno has been available outside of a raid day, a normal raid on its own, since 2017. So I hope you're all excited. Let me know in the comments, and while you're at it, drop a sub if you are new. Very much appreciate all the support. Anyway, we're going to get straight into today's video. The topic of today's video is going to be one that I have stolen. Yes, that's right. Shout out to JTGily, who incidentally, I think I'm not going to take all the credit for his most recent video, which you can check out below, linked, and there's the thumbnail. JTGily did a reflection video, which I told him on a tweet you should look back at some of your old stuff and, you know, reflect on past events, past Pokemon, all that sort of stuff. So you can thank me later. Basically, he looked back at his 2016 and 2017 Pokemon, his rarest catches, like his 100% IV legendaries, his first Hundo, his first shiny, all of that stuff. We're going to do the same. The only problem I have is that obviously I wasn't making videos back then, so we're going to purely rely on my storage and my storytelling capabilities. So let's see how that goes, shall we? First port of call. I didn't actually keep my very first Pokemon. The very first Pokemon I caught when you get presented with 3 starters, I think I caught Bulbasaur. I chose Bulbasaur because I like the green. But the first Pokemon I actually have in my storage, as you can see here, is a fully maxed out 91% Dragonite. And up until very recently, this was a double legacy moveset. It's not a 15 attack one, but this was back in day when I wasn't hardcore. I didn't understand the IV system because it was the damn appraisal thing where it gave you all the text and stuff. But this has been in my storage the longest, before legacy moves were, you know, given back to Dragonite and Elite TMs or even a thing. So this was like my go-to meta, essentially. As you can see though, I did have to walk it a considerable amount. So when they actually brought the buddy system in, maybe 2017, like early 2017 or late 2016, it took me ages and ages to walk it. And the second one is a maxed out, so everything's maxed out pretty much. This was my go-to grass type back in the day. Venusaur was quite hard to get. Again, not 15 attack. You can tell I really didn't care about the IVs back then. So that's my second Pokemon. You let me know in the comments what your earliest Pokemon is in your storage. I'd be very interested to know if you started playing way back when it was first released as a game, or whether you only just started this year in 2020. And that's it. That's it for 2016. There were less ways to get Mons, that's for damn sure. Incubators and eggs weren't as effective. Kicking myself now because of the fact that trading only came in what, 2018 or something like that. So when that was announced, in like 2016 Pokemon hold the best value for Luckies. Now we're going to move on to 2017, where we're going to get some interesting stuff. First 100%er, Magmar. I've evolved it to Magmortar now because it obviously goes Gen 4 evolution, but this was a random 100% catch. No idea, I was just walking around Walpole and it was a Magmar nest and I was just catching everything. Caught it with a Great Ball. I think I IV checked it like a day later or something when I was going through them. I was like, wait, is this a 100%er? The days when you actually got trolled by the IV system where it said it's for Valor, it simply amazes me. Its best stat is HP, attack, defense. Blown away by its stats. You're like, okay, that means it's a 15, 15, 15. Holy sh**. I haven't maxed it out. I should max it out really as a you know, memento. We had 100% Flareon that was an Eevee, which I caught actually at some kind of golf course somewhere, I think for my birthday, which was very cool. And then my very first 100% IV starter Mon. This again, just a random nest catch. Had no idea it was a Hundo. Checked it and I was like, wow, nice. And this was a long way before its community day, so I had the candy, I evolved it because I was like, okay, I need it. It's a goodish water type for Gen 1. Now we'll skip forward, shall we? This Mon, it's kind of lost its charm, it's lost its special place in the hearts of players, I believe, because it was 2020 August's Community Day. Magikarp. This was my very first shiny Pokemon. We can go for a bit of backstory on this. The very first event, as it were, was 2017, I think it was March actually. March 2017 was a water festival that ran for about 2 weeks, and that was the time that they actually said, okay, and you might encounter a shiny Magikarp, and everyone went mental for it. And I grinded and I grinded that event so hard to get the shiny, and I didn't get it. About 2 weeks later, I was having lunch at the pub pretty much next door to me, where I live, with some of my friends from film school, just having lunch, chilling, opened the game, had the lures going. The lure game was strong back then. Got the Magikarp and I was like, wow, it's a shiny. No way. I evolved it straight away. I think I had enough candy because I grinded that event so hard and was like, okay, this is going to be my first Gyarados. I will have my very first Gyarados as a shiny, and it's still in my storage to this day. It's not fantastic stats. In fact, it's PvP stats, so having a look at it now. But that was my first shiny Mon, of course, was a Magikarp. Let me know in the comments what your very first shiny was. We're going to skip forward a little bit now to my very first Gen 2 Hundo. This is probably my favourite Gen 2 starter as well. Typhlosion. This, as you can see, oh no, it wasn't an egg catch. What am I talking about? When did I get, what? Maybe I had a Cyndaquil nest at some point. I had the candy, it was a simple evolve, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because I have to use an elite charge TM to get Blast Burn on it, but it is a fully maxed out Typhlosion. I think this was my top fire type for about 2 or 3 years. Very, very cool. Can we contrast for a second in the fact that watching JTGily's video, he's got clips in there of him catching a wild Typhlosion and catching a wild like Dragonite and all of this stuff. You don't get that kind of spawn here in the UK. You never did. The best you kind of got was like, oh, there's a wild Lickitung, yay, and that's it. Let's have a look at something a bit more rare. So, this is actually my very first unknown. I believe it's my first unknown because, you know, I've kept them. They're 2017 Mons. I think this was some kind of special event where they had Europe spelt out. I can't remember why. Got to excuse the wind noise, guys. I can't remember for the life of me what it was, but this was epic because this was kind of super rare hunting, trying to get these unknowns. Even though they were event boosted, they were still rare, still very rare. This next Mon is a very special one in my point of view because this is actually my very first exclusive regional. Before they started putting the Gen 1 regionals in eggs and 7km eggs for events and Go Fest bonuses and all that sort of stuff, we had an event in the UK where Kangaskhan actually spawned in the wild for us, I think for about a week. So it was a case of go around and grab every Kangaskhan you possibly can because, you know, you just want to collect as much candy of it as possible. And this, I think this is the only one I've kept from 2017. It's my very first one. So that was a late August. In fact, that was almost, in fact, that's over 3 years ago. Over 3 years old, that Mon, which is very, very cool. Never powered it up, just sitting in my storage. A 69 IV, beautiful. Let me know what your first regional was that wasn't your own local regional with an event or something. I would show you my very first legendary, but I traded it away. Adam and I traded our oldest Lugias we had, swapped them over, and this was before Lucky Pokemon had a 12-12-12 IV floor put in, so I got a lucky 76% Lugia back. So I'm very annoyed that I traded away my oldest Lugia. Shall we have a look at my first 0% Mon? You'll let me know if you've got a couple of 0% Pokemon in the comments, and come and join the Discord and share your 0% Mons, because I've got a tiny collection of 0% Mons. They're always quite funny to get. This, and excuse I have to blur out the name because Murkrow is the most irritating Pokemon to try and catch ever, outside of raid bosses, legendaries. Murkrow causes the most aggro out of anything, so I named it 0%. Blur out the text. Look at it, it is actually a 0% IV Mon. Back in the day, when you did the appraisal system for a 0% Mon, it gave you the IV range. So it actually said like, you know, your Pokemon has terrible stats, its HP, attack, defense are all terrible, really bad. That gave you a window between having a Pokemon that was 555 stats and 000 stats. So if you had that, you either had all stats were 5s, 4s, 3s, 2s and 1s or 0s. So I checked and I was like, whoa, what? This is 0 perfect. So, had a 0% Murkrow before a Hundo. Can't rename this mon because it has inappropriate text, and this name was put in before the inappropriate text filter was put on. So, it's staying. Looking at it, it's October the 21st. This was the very first Halloween event. My second shiny was a shiny Shuppet. Looking at this was my first Gen 3 shiny. This I actually got sat in my old flat, and I'd stayed up playing Xbox, I think, or watching some TV or something. It was about 4 AM. I was just about to go to bed. I clicked this Shuppet I brought in from a lure, and it was the lovely teal blue. What? Because I hunted the entire Halloween event and didn't get anything, and this came about 10 days after the Halloween event. Exactly the same story with the shiny Magikarp. 47%, but it's a very cool shiny. I do like Bernard. It's a very cool mon. We're going to finish on a high note here. This was my very first 100% IV legendary Pokemon. We've gone through Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, you know, Raikou, Entei, Suicune, and Lugia as well. Then they brought out Ho-Oh for about 2.5 weeks in December. A couple of us drove over to Synagogue at the weekend to go and do this Ho-Oh raid, and this was before Ho-Oh got, I think, a debuff actually. Ho-Oh got a debuff in the very first or second IV reroll. The 100% number was 2222 from memory, and I remember seeing that on the screen. I was like, oh my god, it's a Hundo. What do I bloody well do? Because I'd literally the day previously caught a 98, which I'd started maxing. I put all my candy for Ho-Oh into this 98. So I'm not going to get a 100%er. I'm going to get nothing better than that, so I'll start maxing it. That's why it's at 3000 CP. Next day, get the damn Hundo. So I was like, okay, and I think it took about 6 excellent golden razzes to get it. Ho-Oh was a nice close mon to the screen, easy to hit, so I got it, caught it, and I was like, yes, okay. And that was my very first maxed out Hundo legendary as well. That sat at the top tier of my mons for the longest time. Let me know what your first 100% IV legendary, if you have any 100% IV legendaries, because they are quite few and far between. Worth noting, this is my very first Hundo Pidgey. This was caught randomly, as you can see, with a Pokeball when I was in Spain. I was in Mallorca. I was actually at a local market. And I was at a local market getting my belt made or something, and this Pidgey turned out to be 100% IV. So that was something. And then the final mon, the very final mon, is this Present Chew. This Pikachu during this window is the only time you've ever been able to teach Pikachu Present as a quick move, which is usually only exclusive to Delibird. So that's quite interesting, and again, that was caught in Spain. That was caught in Spain because I was spending Christmas in Mallorca with family at that point. So that is, as you can see, that is my last mon from 2017. I have quite a few bad IV legendaries like Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, and a 1 or 2 Entei, Raikou, Suicune to do trades with that should go lucky, but mostly it's 100% IVs and 2 shinies. That's about it. Let me know if you enjoyed this sort of video, if you want to see more like a shiny collection, if you want to see a 100% IV collection or something, because they're quite easy to produce, these sort of videos. Definitely go and check out JTGily's, because my man's hit 200 subs, so congrats on that if you happen to watch this video. Speaking of, subscribe if you are new. Very much appreciate if you could support the channel. Throw a like on the video, drop a comment in below, and join the Discord. You can throw your friend code around there and get some global raids on, because Articuno coming in tonight, you want to get some Articuno because the Articuno is actually good. One of the top ice type attackers, and it's got a shiny available, which I never got because I missed the raid day. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching, everybody. Make sure to subscribe if you are new with the notifications on, so you know every time I upload and every time I go live. Very much appreciate all the support from you guys. We had a wave of new subscribers, new people in the Discord. If you want to take your support to the next level, I do have a Patreon down below. You can click that link, see how that works, see if you want to participate, and I've got some extra bonus content available for you. I'm trying to get more into that. That's linked below if you're interested. I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.